Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here to the first ever MikeCap here for WWE Clash in Paris, France. Yes, usually after a premium live event, I host the Nightcap, the beloved Nightcap. Honestly, my favorites. Late night wrestling, talk show, recap show, post show, whatever you want to call the show. But I usually like to have fun, and that usually happens later in the night. Usually we're talking like 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, for the nightcap. So it works. But it's still early afternoon. It's not even 6 o'clock yet here on the East Coast. We're 2 minutes till 6 o'clock on the East Coast. It's 3 o'clock for me. So it's like the middle of the afternoon. So there's no nightcap. How could we have a nightcap if it's not night out? So there you have it. We've got the MikeCap because I am Mike. I am mouthing off with Mike. You can follow me on social media at MOWM_podcast. I am the only wrestling podcast, if you caught my predictions, that knows a thing or two about the Eiffel Tower. Shout out Dommy Feds reposting this stream. Much love to Dom. Always showing love to mouthing off with Mike and, of course, Boom Broadcasting. Listen, we didn't see any baguettes. We didn't see any crepes in the Donnybrook match today, but we did see chaos today. We also saw a little bit of some mid. We also saw some pretty shocking developments when it comes to Seth Rollins and his group. First things first, we do have to kind of have a moment here. Today will be the last WWE Premium Live event that will air on the Peacock. Starting September 20th with WrestlePalooza, we will be on ESPN and the ESPN Mega app that they've now created. So NXT still stays on Peacock, which is fine, which means I still have to pay for another streaming service to watch WWE NXT content. Fantastic. At least Evolve's free on Tubi, but who's watching Evolve really, except maybe like 5 people. Nevertheless, so shout out to the Cock. We had a great run. If you had we had a song we could throw in here, it'd be, you will remember me, because I'll miss it, to be honest with you. I never really had any issues with Peacock. I've always had pretty smooth streams. Last night, ESPN did me absolutely dirty, so I'm a little concerned about WWE going to ESPN and streaming on their app because they had trouble streaming a college football game last night. My Arizona State Sun Devils kicked off their season at home against Northern Arizona University. And from about the end of the second quarter into about halftime, we didn't have a stream. We had no video. We had very staticky audio and kind of what the graphics look like here behind you. We were getting kind of like almost like it looked like an abstract painting when it came to the picture. That was about an hour 15 minutes or so where we literally could not watch the game. So hopes are very low when it comes to this ESPN WWE partnership. I have no idea what to expect in about 2 weeks here, 3 weeks or so, when we have that first premium live event on ESPN, because last night's experience does not bode well for the future. The other piece of the puzzle here tonight with the MikeCap and Clash in Paris is, in fact, how cool the stage was tonight. For the first time, and I don't even know how long, we actually got a custom specific stage for the premium live event. Now, this isn't the best photo that I was able to grab from social media, so sue me. But we got an Eiffel Tower. We had the painting of the Starry Night in the background. The graphics looked great. I have to say, it was so refreshing to see a custom stage for a specific themed premium live event. So 10 out of 10 there with the stage. I loved it. I'm not paying for it. If UFC can do Paramount, I don't think they need to charge that much. Yeah, I mean, for most people who are Spectrum or DirecTV subscribers with their normal plan, you can get the ESPN app buy up, whatever you want to call it, at no additional charge, logging in with your cable provider. If you have any other cable provider, they basically just said, go fuck yourself. They said you're paying for it. Now, mind you, I did pay for ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and the Hulu bundle, which was about $30 a month as is. So I was already paying for it. And the logic here is that, all right, I will switch over to this new plan with this new ESPN thing, and it's going to be about the same for me per month. So it's about $30 a month still for me for like the first 12 months. Then after that, I think it goes up to like $35 or $40 or something like that, which is disgusting. Peacock ad-free just went up this month as well to $18 a month. Paramount, I think so far is, as of now, between all the streaming services, is the cheapest per month streaming service. And I think that comes in at about $13 a month for ad-free Paramount. So it is tough. It is tough right now. If you are wanting to watch Raw on Netflix, premium live events on ESPN, NXT live events on Peacock, and if you also want to watch UFC now on Paramount, you're going to have 4 different streaming services just to watch the content you want to watch, which is, if you add that up right there, we're talking almost $70 roughly between 4 different streaming services. If you get the ad-free plans, if you have this buy-in, this whatever, going even kind of piggybacking into that, if you don't have cable, that means you probably pay for Max to watch Dynamite and Collision. So that's another $15 a month. So you're talking probably about $100 a month if you want to watch all wrestling. And that doesn't include other streaming services and specific wrestling streaming services if you're just paying for that to watch just wrestling. Most of us don't, which has been pretty rough and pretty brutal on the wallets if we really are going to get into the mud here. How do you have 4 stars in a match and book it so bad? Oh, Over the Top Talk's coming in hot here tonight, talking a little bit about the Fatal 4-Way that just concluded the Clash in Paris Premium Live event. And you got John Cena here on the post show with Big E and Jackie. But let's start off at the top of the show. I do have to kind of get my ass in motion here because I do have, responsibilities to attend to. But the Tribal Thief versus the Tribal Chief. And if you did catch my Clash in Paris predictions, picks, whatever you want to call them at this point, you heard me say that I have a beachfront property in Idaho I will sell to you if you believe that the Tribal Thief, Bronson Reed, was going to beat the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. We know Roman Reigns wins this match. 10 out of 10. Made sense. All the sense in the world. What I will say is that Bronson Reed looked incredible in this match. This match, for me, solidified how WWE had this guy in NXT, decided to release him. He goes out, goes to New Japan. He comes back, shortly thereafter, right? Now he's established here on the roster. He had this ankle injury last year that kind of took him out of the cards. Now with this faction, he has been highlighted weekly just as much, if not more, than Braun Breaker. And I think that's an absolute win. We don't have big men that can move like Bronson Reed in WWE. There are very few in the company right now. One of them is Otis. Otis is a comedy act, so you don't see Otis getting serious anytime soon unless a drastic change of character direction decides to come for Otis and Akira Tozawa with the Alpha Academy, Alpha Babes. Bronson Reed is a guy who is a big man. He is I don't want to compare him to a Vader, but he is in that sense. But he's gifted maybe a little bit more athletically, or maybe a better comp is a Bam Bam Bigelow for Bronson Reed. I get a very similar vibe and kind of feeling when I watch Bronson Reed that you could make both of those comparisons, but as we kind of talk it through, I think Bam Bam is a better comp for Bronson Reed and his abilities and the talent he brings in the ring. If anything, tonight, Bronson Reed looked like $1 million. As well, we finally got Roman Reigns to finally get his comeuppance with Paul Heyman, and he gets his shoes back. Roman Reigns gets his shoes back. And then right after Roman Reigns gets his shoes back, he gets speared as he's signing his shoes and throwing them in the crowd. So there's two pairs of Roman shoes that have made it into the fans, signed by him live here on the show. And then there's two pairs that he signed that did not get tossed out to the crowd, which means they will be auctioned on Fanatics shortly hereafter. And they'll be even more exclusive because it'll probably have the whole Braun Breaker effect to it. Now, Braun Breaker, I thought for a minute here, hurt himself. He didn't stand up for about 8 minutes. He just sat there and he just kind of shook like honestly, he kind of shook like a chihuahua, like an angry chihuahua. And he just was like kind of shaking, grabbing at his hands, doing the hand movements and everything there. And then they just destroyed Roman. They hit Roman with 3 tsunamis, 2 spears. Jey Uso even tried to save him, and he got a spear, and he got his ribs taped up for the main event. And then Roman's finally wheeled out on a stretcher with Jey, and that's the end of it. Roman's going to be gone. Roman is going to be gone. That's it. We know Roman's going to film the Street Fighter movie. We'll see you in a couple months, man. We know his role, I guess, is he has a bigger role than Cody in this film, which leads me to believe Cody's character probably gets ripped to shreds pretty early on, or whatever the case may be, or Cody's is like a cameo to set up him in the next film. I don't know what the general plot line is going to be of the Street Fighter movie, but we know because of this attack, and we know because of his casting, Roman's going to be written off television for a bit. And this was the right way to do it. Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. He's the longest reigning WWE champion in the modern era, at 13 whatever days. And it makes sense that you're going to need 3 tsunamis, 2 spears, and being put through a table to write the guy off, because he is a superhuman character in professional wrestling. So that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Ultimately, we kind of expected that. It reminded me of a Clash of the Champions TBS show. Jeez. I'm terrified for how they will book the Vision, Punk, Jay, and Knight. It's going to get so repetitive. It's going to be interesting. He moves like Mike Awesome did, but Bam Bam's look. Okay, good comp. That's a good comp, Toby. I like that. What's up? Great PLE, great stage. 6-0 with my picks. Let's go. I think, Rick, I'm right there with you. I think I was on 5-0. I think I let my me and Nikki Bella's Eagles fandom cloud my judgment. And I took my fellow Eagles fan, Nikki, in the predictions on just going with vibes, just felt it in my heart. I was like, Nikki Bella in France, go Birds, go Bella. And I was way off base. Had I have taken Becky and played it safe, we would have swept the card here today, which is either a testament to our wrestling knowledge or is a testament to the fact that WWE might have put out a very predictable premium live event. Now that you can leave up for interpretation. I would like to think we just know wrestling that well, and WWE wouldn't want to put up a predictable premium live event. We're in Paris, so I will go ahead and give you my arbitrary ranking of this match. As you know, I like to make fun of Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, because I think they're the 2 biggest grifters on the face of the planet, and they absolutely have no consistency when it comes to grading or ranking wrestling. Even though, obviously, I've only been on this earth for a fraction of the time Dave Meltzer has been and what he's seen and everything. But nevertheless, it's arbitrary. Let's go with crepes here. I've done baguettes in the past. For Backlash France, let's go with crepes. Good crepe, really, you can't go wrong with a good crepe. If I were to give it out of crepes, this one's getting 2.5. Tribal Thief, Tribal Chief. When your post-match angle goes on longer than your actual wrestling match, your meat and potatoes here, you're going to lose a couple crepes there. So we're going to go 2.5 crepes. Maybe we're talking like grocery store frozen crepes. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking like fresh Paris street food crepes. We're talking grocery store crepes. So 2.5 frozen crepes. One of them's got like the Nutella in it. The other one's just plain with butter. So, you know what I mean? That's how I felt about this match. Post-match breakdown went on so long that it felt like it cut into the tag team championship match. The Wyatt Six defend successfully against the Street Profits, and the poor Street Profits got to be walking advertisements for the Borderlands 4 game here that's coming out this fall or whatever Michael Cole said on commentary. So if you're a Borderlands fan, you love this. You didn't know what the fuck was going on. You didn't know what the fuck was going on because I was like, what? Are they playing mind games? They're like, yo, we're going to go steampunk here. But I do love the Borderlands skins that they, costume skins that they wore from the game. Love the attention to detail here with the Jock Cup with the spikes on it. So that made me chuckle. The Wyatt Six, though, they got an incredible reception here in Paris, in France. Getting their theme song sung, the Fireflies, as you can see, as far as the eye can see. It was beautiful. This was a beautiful, beautiful moment. We're a week removed from the, I believe now to be 2-year anniversary of Bray Wyatt's passing. And I loved it. If you listen closely on the show when Bo hits the curtain and he hits the stage and you see him, he does hit a little wee, which I thought was fun, because of the yeah that Brody used to do. Instead, he gave it a little Paris sprinkle here, a little French sprinkle with the wee, which I thought was fun. As I predicted, as we all expected, the Wyatt Six successfully retained their titles against the Street Profits. But what was cool about this match here in particular, and what was good about having this tag title match on the card, was the reaction we got from the fans. I think when you have a group that is in tribute, in a continuation, in a kind of ode to the mastermind, the incredible mind that was Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, you should get those kind of reactions. And I hope WWE sees that reaction and decides, you know what? Let's give the people more of this. And we finally did get a Wyatt Six video dropped on their Twitter account during like the pre-show where they kind of go into their thought process and their mentality as to why they've gone into the tag division and why they have done what they've done. They're going to be used to slim down the tag division from my perception, from my kind of take of what I saw. We know that Montez and Dawkins, for years, the people have clamored to see these guys go for a singles run, especially Montez Ford. But over the last few years, I really feel that people sleep on Big Dogs because I think Big Dogs does have what it takes to be a singles competitor in WWE just as much as Montez Ford does in that capacity. So the seeds of tension have been planted by Bo Dallas, not Uncle Howdy, Friday. And we saw that play out with miscommunication in the early onset of the match. Obviously, when we got to our kind of crescendo, we see the Street Profits get back on the same page, but clearly it's not enough because of the wild cards at ringside, that being Sister Abigail, Nikki Cross, and of course, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas coming into play. Montez Ford getting hit with the Sister Abigail, and then Dexter and Joe hitting him with the Plague, their finishing move now, given a name, the Plague. Scary enough, there was a reported case of the Plague in California, if I remember reading the news correctly a few weeks ago, which that's scary. So I guess we've got 2 cases of the Plague here. Wade Barrett, very funny. Real quick detail I picked up during this match. Wade Barrett says, the Plague, which once ran through Europe. I thought that got a big pop out of me on that. Give Montez a solo run. Yeah, I think it's time. I think we'll see that kind of transition in the next couple of weeks with storytelling on SmackDown. Probably, maybe I don't think WrestlePalooza, but at some point I could see them having a PLE singles match, one-on-one. Street Profits kind of then dissolve shortly thereafter. I don't think it'll turn into like a really ugly breakup. I think it'll be listen, it's time. We've ran our course. Like, I love you, bro, but we are not on the same page anymore. And I think that's the proper way to kind of tell them and kind of tell the split. If I were to give this Crepes my ranking, my arbitrary ranking, I will go a little bit higher than the opening contest. And the main reason for that is because it was a faster paced tag team match. And that was, I believe, due in part to the post-match beatdown of Roman Reigns. So they felt they certainly got trimmed a bit there. So I think they came out of the gate hot and they finished hot. So I will give them 3 crepes here for this match. 3 good crepes, solid crepes. Like, I'll give them 3 solid crepes that you get maybe from Disneyland. You hit the French Quarter there in Disneyland. You get a solid crepe there. It's overpriced. It's an overpriced crepe, but it's a solid one. I'll give it 3 on that. What do we have next? The Women's Intercontinental Championship match. This got a little it's got a little choppy here. It's got a little choppy. We obviously know that there was one big miscue here in the match when it came to Nikki and Becky. They did not have the chemistry that we were expecting them to have. Maybe we put too much of a preconceived filter or notion on this match where we thought it was going to be better than what it was. It did leave me wanting a redo of this match. For the first time ever, we're getting Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch, two trailblazers of their respective eras. Obviously, Nikki Bella being kind of in that section of the women's division that was a transition from Diva back into the women's championships. Then shortly thereafter, retiring due to her neck, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then now, obviously, kind of coming back and having a resurgence of her career. This was a match that had a lot of hope for me personally. And unfortunately, it didn't deliver. If I were to give this, a crepe, man, I'd say this was a 1.5-er. And it gave me food poisoning after, because I need the taste of this match out of my mouth ASAP. As soon as the match ended, I went and I grabbed some Listerine because I had such a bad taste in my mouth with this match. And that's no disrespect to these women whatsoever. Sometimes in professional wrestling, you have an off night, and that move, people are already crucifying poor Nikki Bella on it for the drop, the insecurity off the rope, and she didn't connect to anything. She connected to the Invisible Man. That's not on her. That was Becky. She didn't turn into it. She literally just stood there and didn't turn into it. She was still selling the previous move. Maybe that's on both of them. Maybe that's Nikki Bella for not pacing out correctly. Maybe that's on Becky for not kind of staying aware, being both of these women are veterans. We know Nikki Bella is not giving you a 5-star match on a weekly basis, but from what she has produced since being on this kind of Nikki Bella tour, she's given us very good, better than what we saw previously from her in her career. So I had high hopes for this. Unfortunately, we don't really get that impactful match for a first-time match. Here's hoping Triple H gives them a redo on a Raw, on a SmackDown, on another PLE. I would like a redo of this. The John Cena-Cody Rhodes match from WrestleMania left a terrible taste in my mouth that I still tasted up until their match at SummerSlam. When that match took place, that was erased, and I forgot about that match. And I finally could say, look, I got a good Cody Cena match on this tour. John Cena had a good match tonight with Logan Paul. We'll talk about in just a few moments. But for me personally, the match of the night, and it held through for me, Sheamus versus Rusev in a Donnybrook. These two men did exactly what I said they were going to do in my predictions. They beat the living shit out of each other. with weapons. Sheamus was put through the bar. Rusev got hit with an Irish cross off the top of barrels. The Accolade was hit on top of the barrels. They went through the table off the barrels. We had this great spot. We had the shillelagh used into the more deadly Accolade that I believe Rusev should be using. This modified Accolade he's used in the past, where he retches fully back on them, and he gets the win. As we all kind of felt, Sheamus is a guy who can go out there, give you a 5-star match. Rusev is a guy who needs to get back over with the crowd because he hasn't been consistent for the last 4 or 5 years. This did everything that you could want. Sheamus getting to be proved to WWE once and kind of time and time again why Sheamus is still underrated at almost 50 fucking years old, and why you should allow Sheamus to be on premium live events, because for a guy who hasn't been on one in about 3 years, he gave you the best match on the night, followed right behind it by John Cena and Logan Paul. These are neck and neck for me. These are so close. You could go either way on this one. John Cena and Logan and Sheamus and Rusev, which is crazy to say. For me, when the quality of matches viewed tonight are neck and neck. You could make the argument Logan and Cena just edges it out just a bit. I will make the argument that the brutality in this match and the hard hitting in this match edges out Cena and Paul. I put this at 3.8 crepes out of 5. It's not quite a 4, but man, oh man, compared to the 3.5, the 1.5 that we've seen, the 2.5 that we saw tonight, this was it for me. This was probably the best one on the card right there for me personally, and that's my opinion of this match. Now we take Rusev and we follow this up with Rusev picking up some wins against other wrestlers. Let's just have Rusev beat up Grayson Waller real quick, knock that one out of the mix. Boom, done. Waller gets beat down. Then we transition Rusev into some form of a IC title picture. I don't know, unless you're going to decide to say, you know what, the Raw tag division's really light right now. Let's just do what we did with Sheamus and Cesaro from a few years and make them a tag team after they all beat the shit out of each other week after week. That's also a strong possibility. I had no idea what they had on. No, it was from Borderlands, Back to the Street Profits. Yeah, it was cool. I liked the mask, but it felt weird. The Viking Raiders got shafted with the same thing a few years ago at WrestleMania 39, where they had to dress up like Royale Clash characters from that King's Clash game on your mobile device. That every time you do something, you get an ad. They got hit with that a few years ago. Drew got hit with it a few years ago too for another game that's escaping me. So it's happened. It's gonna happen. But they did look cool. I will say that. Rusev and Sheamus was a good match. As of now, it's the highest on there for me. I could say 3.8. John Cena, Logan Paul, 3.7 for me. It's right there too. This relied heavily on the finishers and moves of other wrestlers here, which was different. We have seen this in the past in wrestling. So thankfully, I was able to kind of keep a running list here. So obviously we know Logan Paul does the buckshot lariat. We also saw Logan Paul pull at a swanton today, Jeff Hardy. We saw the Cesaro uppercut. We saw an end of days from John Cena. We saw a zigzag. We saw a Christopher Daniels move with the angel wings being used. Obviously, the frog splash made famous by Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Obviously, the AA, the STF, a Styles clash as well in this match. We also saw the octopus used in this match. So what an insane, and a Hurricane Rana and a Code Red from John Cena. Also, a really solid discus clothesline, Brody Lee-esque, JBL-esque, clothesline from Hell-esque. So there were so many little cool moves used in this match. It's getting a little obvious that Logan Paul is just kind of plucking moves from AEW superstars. The Cesaro uppercut, the buckshot lariat, two of the big ones for me that I've noticed. If Logan Paul bust out a Kenny Omega, I'll piss myself laughing. If he bust out that Kenny Omega finishing, man, oh man, if he bust out a one-winged angel, you already know what that internet wrestling community is going to look like. Oh man, why can't Rusev be someone's enforcer? I'm not mad at that. I thought Rusev could have fit in the Seth Rollins faction for a bit there. They all look the same. They're all angry. Wow, Braun Breaker's bald, but you could have added another angry, bald-headed, bearded man into that faction, and it would have looked pretty well. That would be insane. Yeah, Dom, I would not be surprised if Logan Paul bust out the one-winged angel one day. And everybody on the internet wrestling community collectively's brains just explode because of how pissed, you know what those fans would be saying if he did that. They would be disgusting. MJF even got into the fun today, making fun of Hangman Adam Page, saying that Logan Paul does it better than the shitty Cowboy does, which is hilarious. Toby, I agree. He does that buckshot so shitty. I will say he does have a really nice frog splash. Personally, I do enjoy Logan's frog splash. I hated his swanton tonight. It looked so bad. He honestly almost broke his neck on his swanton. I wish I had the mic straighter here where I could kind of break it down for you. But we don't have that kind of budget here. Obviously, it's tough. We do have some fun sounds here because this is what France sounded like throughout Logan Paul and John Cena's match. Yes, the entirety of that match was just big boos. Yes, I have a soundboard now. That one didn't work, did it? Oh, that one worked. That's fun. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. So for special announcements, we can bust out the drum roll. What other fun sounds can I have? We have a gong too. That's fantastic. You guys should have never given me a soundboard. Shout out to the advancements here in technology because now I have sounds. This is the worst thing that could have happened for any of my shows, for all of you viewing this. His frog splash was sort of like Art Bars. But not that he has any clue who that is. No, I don't know who that is, Toby. I'm sorry. I guess I'm on the old shit list for not knowing that one. But very good match from John Cena. John Cena has the unique ability to capture fans, and he has always had that unique ability. It's so sad watching Cena get the reaction that he's been getting these last few weeks, especially today in Paris. The crowd singing along to the theme song, the crowd saying his new introduction by Alicia Taylor together with her, the Never Seen 17, the last real world champion, the greatest of all time, John Cena. This Paris crowd was beautiful. Backlash France a few years ago, they were incredible. They were just as good, if not better here tonight. So give yourselves a round of applause, Paris, France, because you guys hit an absolute home run here today. You guys brought the energy. It was super engaging to listen to you guys chant and sing and count in French. I don't know any French. Bonjour, je m'appelle Mike. That's the best you're going to get from me. Bonjour. That's it. Au revoir. That's it. Baguette, crepe, beignet. There you go. That's the extent of the French I know. But shout out to Paris. Shout out to this crowd. I absolutely loved the energy for this match. John Cena and Logan Paul, I thought, did a very good job. Like I said, 3.7 here for them. I'd give the Donnybrook the 3.8. I think we were at, what, 1.5 for Becky and Nikki. No fault of their own, just an off night for those two women. Roman and Bronson, where did I go? 2.5 there on that. And then the tag title match, I go 3 on that. So, like, so far, I'd say you got to go the pecking order right now for me is Donnybrook, Cena, Paul, tag title, Bronson, Roman, Nikki, and Becky. And then the Fatal 4-Way here, your main event, the World Heavyweight Championship being defended by Seth freaking Rollins. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have been banned from the arena after their attack on Roman Reigns. If they showed up, they'd be suspended without pay. They don't show up, surprisingly. So we do get most of this match here without any chaos besides the in-ring chaos that we got between all 4 competitors. Obviously, we were going to get some different kind of combinations and kind of fighting we saw, obviously with LA Knight and Jey Uso having the yeet off, Seth and Punk reigniting their toxic rivalry. We had Jey Uso and CM Punk. We had LA Knight and CM Punk. We had Seth and Knight and Seth and Jey Uso. I think they worked out the different kind of forms and kind of formations you could have in this match, in this 4-way match, pretty well. I think the action was very well. We had a table spot. Punk kind of went through a table. LA Knight flew through the announce table from the ring, which was crazy. I thought he broke his arm. Hopefully he's okay. And then obviously Seth hitting the stomps outside of the ring. And then, of course, the biggest shock and awe of everything, being Becky Lynch coming out at the end, hitting CM Punk with a low blow and helping her man retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So I have been wondering, I have been questioning, I have been saying, well, why haven't we just had Becky join the faction? Why hasn't Becky joined the Vision faction? Ultimately, I felt that was a huge missed opportunity. She is Seth Rollins' real life wife. She's a incredible women's wrestler, and she now has joined the faction, I guess, or at least has decided to help Seth for tonight. Maybe it's a one-time thing. Maybe it's just a one-time thing. Maybe it is because Braun and Braun security, B&B security, wasn't able to be there to help Seth retain the title, and she realized that he was in trouble and she didn't want to see CM Punk beat her hubby for the world title and become a 2-time champion. It's very funny because when it's all said and done, Seth and CM Punk are going to have a very similar career when it comes to their accolades. It is very neck and neck. I think one of the only things Punk is missing is a Royal Rumble win. If Punk gets a Royal Rumble win in the next 2 to 3 years, their careers are very similar. I think Seth and him are tied on Money in the Banks. I think they're right there on world titles, very close on the world titles. And I think the only thing missing for Punk is a Royal Rumble win. And their careers are going to be kind of similar when it's all said and done. Obviously, Seth will be able to go probably maybe a few more years longer than Punk will be able to go. So probably maybe Seth will finish out on top. But as of now, they're neck and neck, synonymous careers, which I love. Can't wait to see that video package one day when we finally get like the one-on-one be end all of the I love you, Toby. My man Toby hit me with the inventor of the frog splash. There it is. We've got wrestling knowledge. The inventor of the frog splash. If you were not aware, there it is. The inventor of the frog splash. We've got history from Toby, and Toby always comes in clutch. We know Mark loves to course correct me. Tonight, Toby's playing the Mark role tonight, which I love. WWE pay-per-view on Peacock era is over. Yes, it is. Cody, thanks for hanging out with me there on the Twitch side. Very rare we see comments from Twitch, which I welcome them. Please, if you're on Twitch viewing this, I welcome all comments, unless they're spam comments, then I don't want them. But yes, this is the end of the Peacock era for WWE. NXT will remain on the cock. So if you're an NXT fan like I am, you don't got to worry, but you got to pay for an extra streaming service now. So don't cancel that Peacock subscription just yet. Maybe downgrade it. What's good, podcast? Smitty, good to see you, good brother. Always showing love here from Boom Broadcasting, our man Shannon, host of Quick Hits. But the world title match, Seth retains. Becky now in the vision, if she is kind of playing a, do I say it? Do I make the comparison? Kind of playing a Marina Shafir role. Don't hit me. It's just an observation. She's the only woman. She low-blowed Punk. Could be. Big E speculating already on the post show. This opens the door for an intergender tag match with Becky Lynch and CM Punk Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and AJ Lee. Could we hear Let's Light It Up? Could we be angling? And just let's get the crazy eye in there for you. If you've never viewed a Mouthing Off with Mike stream, then you're in for it here, because I'm gonna lay down what I think could be happening. There's this new premium live event that has been resurrected. It's taking place September 20th. It's going to air for the first time ever. WWE's airing for the first time ever on ESPN. I don't think there's ever been anything on ESPN. Maybe in the 90s. Maybe not. I can't recall that ESPN has ever had WWE live event. But WrestlePalooza. If Big E wants to speculate about his BFF AJ Lee, then let's speculate. But before we speculate, I will give this match here, the Fatal 4-Way, I will give it 3.8. It's tied with the Donnybrook for me. So they're 3.8, 3.8, 3.7. Those three matches, the final three matches on the card, are very close for me when it comes to quality. Let's speculate to end the show. WrestlePalooza. What bigger match could you have? Because you know Roman's gone. So we're not getting Roman and Braun Breaker just yet. We're not getting Roman and Seth Rollins. What match could you have here at WrestlePalooza? The return after long 11 years, 12 years almost, of AJ Lee. AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in a tag team match. And this is my fantasy booking twist on it. Make it for both titles. The World Heavyweight Championship and the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Seth Rollins versus Becky Lynch. God, I keep fucking that up. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee and CM Punk for both titles in a winner-take-all tag team match for the first time ever on WWE's newest PLE, on its new PLE home of ESPN, September 20th in Indianapolis, Indiana. That you can call an MOWM, pipe bomb, nuke, whatever you want to call it. But that is what I think we could have in store for us in a few weeks. Does it happen? Probably not. But man, oh man, what a thought that would be. I mean, Marina could really kill you or walk away with your foot. Yeah, I mean, she will take an ankle for sure. She'll beat the shit out of you. She's a scary woman. I fear for Roddy Strong. But then again, that'd be a dream match, right? Marina Shafir and Jon Moxley versus Becky and Seth. That's a good one. I'll take that. That's another good little fun match there while we're on fun intergender tag matches. Give me Roman Reigns and Nia Jax versus Becky and Seth. That'd be a fun intergender dream match too. There's some fun little combinations that we could make, just kind of spitballing. Those are fun matches, but I think we could be very well angling towards a CM Punk AJ Lee tag team match at WrestlePalooza. I don't know. Listen, AJ Lee has said she probably won't come back to the ring. Never say never. Money talks, bullshit walks. If WWE's getting money from ESPN out the ass, like we know they are getting for this package deal that they're getting with the new PLE structure, I would not be surprised if WWE flashed a pretty penny towards AJ Lee. AJ Lee kind of looked at Mr. CM Punk and said, honey, I'm getting the high top Converse out of the storage unit and we're going to start training. Very well could happen. Not WWE, old school AEW. Gotcha. But Clash in Paris, there's some hits. There's some misses. On paper, I thought I was expecting more. Will I say I'm a little disappointed? Yeah, I could say I'm a little disappointed, but it was wrestling. I had a good time watching it with the misses. And I had a good time chatting it up with all of you guys. Tomorrow, Monday Night Raw will be live at, I believe, 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I believe that'll put us at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for all of you on the East Coast. I believe that'll be 1 o'clock for the Central Standard Time zone, folks. And they are back in Paris, France for Raw tomorrow. I know we've got AJ Styles versus Dirty Dom for the Intercontinental Championship. Be interesting to see what happens there. Be interesting to see if we get a Brock Lesnar sighting. Obviously, Brock Lesnar attacked Cena. We haven't had a follow-up on it. I figure the best place to do it is international waters because the crowd will chant for just about anything. I would not be surprised if AJ was training for a return at Evolution, but had to push it back a couple of months. I would not be surprised at that either, Mark. I think ultimately WrestlePalooza seems like we're gonna be out a few stars. I don't know what Cody's timeline is. I could see Cody and Drew having a world title match at Palooza because obviously Drew is coming for Cody. Roman, I don't see being there. He's going to film the movie. Cody's at the movie right now, actively filming. So could it be another few weeks for Cody? Could it be another week for Cody? We don't know. Reshoot, schedule, flights, times, dates, other events. You don't know. He just had a second kid too. So I don't know. We get Cody and Drew. I lean towards yes, but I also lean towards what bigger match could you have on WrestlePalooza to kind of stake a claim than the return of one of the most wanted women, popular ever to do it, AJ Lee, and have her pair up with her husband and take on the dastardly couple of Seth and Becky. I think it's angled towards that perfectly if all of your other big names are tied up with other engagements, especially Roman and Cody. Time will tell, folks. Tomorrow, though, Monday Night Raw is going to be early, and I am off from work, so I will get to live stream possibly the entire episode of Raw. I got to see how I feel. It felt good today. Dealing kind of a little bit of some allergies here, just whooping my ass. We had a huge dust storm or haboob out here on the West Coast, and it fucked up my sinuses for the last week. So I've been, you can hear it, I hate to do it. It's gross ASMR. But I'm pushing through for all of you because I want to really talk wrestling, and I've had a good time today watching the show. Even though some things fell off, I still enjoyed. It's wrestling. It's a Sunday. I'm off from work tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Stay tuned to my socials at second time tonight. At MOWM_podcast. I bet Brock versus someone John cares about. No, I think it's going to be Brock and Cena at Palooza. And then or they extend that to Perth in Australia. Then we get maybe Cena and Styles at Palooza, depending upon the result of tomorrow's IC title match with Dom and AJ. Now, if AJ beats Dom, I think Cena, you kind of have to go with our boy Rick 8-Bit, who has been chomping at the bit to get an AJ Styles John Cena match for the Intercontinental Championship. I hope Rick is right. He's been calling it from the beginning of this tour, so he has a chance to nail it and get what he wants. So let's see if he gets it tomorrow. So I think that could be a direction we go. And then I think shortly thereafter, I think we get the Brock Lesnar, and I think it's going to take place in international waters. I'm angling and expecting it to happen in Saudi Arabia. That's what I'm expecting. Must be nice to be off, mother sucker. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, Shannon. It is nice to be off tomorrow. Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to Labor Day. Shout out to all of you if you're working. Have a good day tomorrow. If you're working, if you're not, and you're taking the day off, enjoy your day off. Because I will be enjoying my day off watching wrestling with all of you probably. So stay tuned, socials. I will be back probably tomorrow, depending upon how I feel. I should feel fine, but that's it for me. I got to run. I got to go do some real life things here in the real world. So I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, maybe. Peace.